How's it going, vaqueros? And welcome to my initial impressions of the beta slash the shotgun in the game. Now, you might be thinking shotgun. Yes, there is no plural. There is no S on that. You literally just have access to one shotgun in the beta. So that's kind of a womp womp moment. I think there's only one sniper as well and about two pistols. So not really super disappointed about that, but more about other things. But we'll get into that. Okay, so first of all, what are my thoughts on this as a whole? Well, I've been playing for about give or take 3 hours at this point. So I have a little bit of an understanding of how it feels, how it plays. And I want to say that it definitely feels like Modern Warfare 2019, but it also feels more arcadey. There's definitely this more, I guess the vibrant color scheme or palette helps with that, but it definitely feels a little different. It doesn't feel as like grounded as Modern Warfare 2019 does. This one definitely feels just a little bit more different. In my opinion, more arcadey, but at the same time, a little bit slower because as you know, slide canceling is no longer a thing. You can slide like Ghost, where you kind of put your gun down and you can't shoot, and you can also dolphin dive like in Black Ops 2, and that's actually really fun. I got a couple funny kills with that, and that was a lot of fun to use. But aside from how it looks and kind of the vibe I'm getting from it, the movement seems to be a little bit slower. Not necessarily speed-wise, but just kind of how people play. I've already encountered quite a bit of corner campers, so the big thing to note here is footsteps are still probably a big problem at this point. I think Dead Silence is unlocked at level 30. You don't have access to it until the second week of the beta. So it's going to be a little bit of a struggle bus. And also because of the perk system and how it works, you don't get Ghost or High Alert right off the bat, right? So you can get seen on your radar pretty quick. There's a lot of weird things like that. I'm not going to go over the whole game because I feel like that's been covered a lot already by some of the streamers since we had access to COD Next yesterday. So what I want to do is kind of talk about the shotgun. As you know, I'm a shotgun guy. I'm always loving to get my hands on them and see how they feel. And in this particular build, you have access to one, and that is called the Expedite 12. This is basically the M1014 from Modern Warfare 2. It's a classic shotgun, and in this game, it definitely feels like a cannon. I was a little worried since it was a semi-auto, it was going to kind of really suck, but it's actually pretty dang good, and it does have a one-shot kill potential. I know a lot of you guys are probably bummed there's no pump action we have access to, but there is in fact a one-shot potential, and I was able to get it just roughly estimating based on how far the enemy was. It feels like it's about like 8 meters or so. You have to be aiming down sights to really get it consistently. If you're not aiming down sights with this thing, it's pretty rough outside of anything besides like 4 meters, so I would really recommend aiming down sights. It's a lot of fun to use, but the only problem I had with it is that it's a little clunky in terms of the aim down sight speed. Because we don't have attachments, it's really slow to aim, and the sprint to fire speed is also pretty god dang awful. So you'll notice that when you try to rush around with it, you're going to have to sort of rush into an area and then kind of walk around corners and kind of maneuver very slowly. Otherwise, you're going to get caught with your pants down and you're going to die. And if it takes 2 shots with this thing, you're probably gonna die. The rate of fire is not that fast. Just because it's a semi-auto doesn't mean you can spam it. There's definitely some sort of cap here. I noticed that if I was trying to spam it too fast, I would kind of shoot slower. So you really have to get that one-shot kill, otherwise it's going to be very difficult to someone who's already looking at you. I've died many times to that already, and it doesn't help that you're playing against people that are likely using one of the ARs you get from the pre-order bundle, which is already like leveled up, so there's a ton of attachments. They probably have a really great sprint to fire speed and great muzzle velocity, all this different stuff that really is going to kick your ass if you're not careful. So you have to play methodically with this shotgun. But as a whole, it is definitely great. It's just hard to say without attachments how good it could potentially be, but at the same time, there is potential. It's not an awful shotgun. I'm not here to tell you it's bad. No, not by any means. It's great. It's actually pretty solid for a base gun. Like you can get some good kills with it and good 2-shot kills. But I figured usually if it's not a 1-shot, it's going to be a 3-shot just based off of how I've been able to play with it. So get that 1-shot. That's really what I encourage you to do. Aim down sights and get that 1-shot. Now, a few things to note about it. First of all, if you shoot at a wall, you'll notice that the hipfire reticle, well, your pellets go outside of that. So I think there's some sort of bug. I don't think it's intended. It better not be, but basically your pellet spread is wider than your hipfire reticle leads on to believe. So just be mindful of that. But yes, it has 8 pellets like most traditional Call of Duty shotguns. If you aim down sights, it magically tightens the spread. So again, I say go ahead and aim down sights as much as you can with this thing. And also be warned, if you're going to try and shoot people a little past where you would think as the 1-shot kill range to get, 2-shot kills, there is a little bit of a recoil to this thing that's kind of nasty. Like, it's not Gracie Auto style nasty, but it just has a lot of visual recoil, and the gun, since it's so big and kind of covers your screen, it ends up kind of covering the target when you're shooting because of the recoil. So just be mindful of that, and you might have to pull down a little bit more than you think. I do want to point out there is an Expedite 12 you can use with some attachments on the Assault class. I think it's one of the default classes called Assault. I could be wrong. That does have some attachments on it, but I didn't really notice much of a difference in performance. I think it has a smaller tube magazine, only 5 rounds as opposed to the usual 7 on the base gun. It has a laser sight. I think the barrel might be shorter because of the 5 rounds. I couldn't really tell much of a difference other than I think it aimed down sights a little bit quicker, but honestly, I would just go with the base one. I wouldn't really worry about using the one on the default class. It's not really that great, but if you want to try a different aesthetic, sure, by all means, go ahead. As a whole though, I really do think it's a pretty solid shotgun, and guys, this is just the base gun. We have no attachments to unlock. That's really disappointing. I really wish we could have at least gotten something like in the Modern Warfare beta with the 725 and 680, but we have nothing. So, you know, you might get kind of a little bored of it right off the bat because there's not much you can kind of do. After a couple games, I was already like, can I get some attachments here? It'd be kind of nice, but no, unfortunately, I think we're just going to have to wait for the full game. That's really disappointing. But as a whole, so far, the base gun, it's definitely good. It's strong. It's nothing to really scoff at, to be honest with you. And it was a lot of fun. If you play in the farm map, I think it's Farm 18, there's that sort of indoor middle section that's very close quarters. Easily the most fun place to like play with that thing. I mean, if you put down a barricade in one spot, kind of maneuver around that area, don't just camp, but like go outside and try and flank and go back in there. It's a lot of fun. It definitely catches people off guard sometimes. So I highly recommend if you're on that map, go to that section and just see how well it excels. But if you see someone in a long sight line, do not challenge. There is a lot of effective range to the shotgun. It has that sort of Modern Warfare style shotgun effective range where you can hit people like 30 meters away, but you really don't do much damage, right? So I don't recommend it, especially for this one, because I tried doing that at one point and I think I got maybe like 4 or 5 hit markers. Really do not recommend. It's just the pellet spread's too wide. It doesn't do enough damage, so don't recommend. Really, the trick to this thing is to rush into somewhere, be careful, stop sprinting, kind of walk around your corners, make sure you're ready for someone, maybe do a jump shot, and then aim down sights and get your one-shot kill in. That is really the way to go based off of how it's been playing so far for me. And again, that's with no attachments, so that's probably going to change. I wish I could give you more to talk about with it, really, but for now, that's all I really got to say. It's fun. Go use it. Go give it a try. It's going to be a blast from the past because it's the M1014 we all missed and loved from Modern Warfare 2, so that's awesome. But as far as the gun goes, it's great. Give it a try. Let me know what you guys think of the shotgun, and let me know what you guys think of the beta as a whole. I'm kind of still diving into it. I still want to get more time into it. Only time will tell how it's going to play. The time to kill is insanely fast, just like Modern Warfare 2019. So that's a little bit of a struggle bus. Hence, if you miss your shot with your shotgun, you're pretty much dead. But let me know in the comments below, what do you think of the beta so far? What do you think of this shotgun? And I will see you guys in the next video.
Enemy is taking Bravo. Enemy standing by. We are taking Alpha. We are taking Bravo. Securing objective Bravo. Enemy is taking Alpha. Enemy is Charlie. We hold all objectives. Keep them secure.
No way.
Chasing mag.
Enemy is taking Charlie. UAV ready to deploy.
Reloading.
Enemy took Charlie. Missile ready to deploy.